Thank you so much, DJ. Appreciate it. Yes.
Run conference.
Oh, it's still
Wendy,
going.
Talley.
Okay, that's my shaft music. Yeah. So, really quickly, a couple of things. I have some little nice gifts in my hand, and I want to just go ahead and get this out of the way. I am also the founder of Black Speakers Rock. If you haven't heard of it, that's me. I founded Black Speakers Rock. So if I can have 3, and I don't have enough, and I'm sorry for my very curvaceous women, but if I can have 3, or if you want to give it as a gift, petite women, just come up. 3 petite. Okay, now I need y'all to wear that. Take a picture, okay? All right, go to Black Speakers Rock, ask to join, and I need to see it all on you. Put your heels on, put your jeans on. Cute, you know, gotta look cute, my stuff. Well, yes! Hello, Run Conference! Let us hear it! Dr. Cassandra Bradford, she is an amazing woman. I gotta give this back to her. When I met her at another conference, I just enjoyed who she is at the time and who she was at the time when I first met her. And I said, you know what? I'm not afraid to ask for what I want. Because what's the worst thing that somebody can tell you? No. You didn't have it before, so why are you mad about it now? So I said, you know what? She's where I want to be. She's got the knowledge that I need to have, and I'm not afraid to ask. I flew all the way from Los Angeles, came back to Dallas, okay? And I said, you know what? I want you as my mentor. Would you guide me and would you help me? And she said yes. And I also turned around and I told her, I said, one day I will be on your stage. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I was going to be on her stage. And as you can see, I'm standing at the Run Conference. Yes. And so when you manifest your dreams, when you speak those things to existence, and when you tell people the secret that God told you to the right person, you can end up in the right place. So I'm standing here. I'm bald now because I cut off all my hair 2 days ago. I cut off, it's all gone. It's nothing there. It's all in the trash can. So I cut off my hair 2 days ago and just pretty much said I wanted a new change because the Run Conference is going to launch me into my new purpose. So that's just why I'm here. So thank you all for being here. Look, this is another thing about me, really quick, because I like to really talk about myself. I like to pretty much talk about you and where you're going. But I'm a licensed clinical social worker with the state of California. I've been licensed now since 2009. I've been in the field of mental health about 18 years, okay? And so that's not impressive. It's not about the degrees that I hold. It's not about the school that I went to and all this other stuff. What's really, really impressive is the fact that I can stand here from a young girl who was in college that was told by my high school counselor. See, when I was born blue. Me and my twin brother were born blue. Unfortunately, only one of us survived, and I stand here for myself and for him. And in those 10 minutes where I did not have oxygen, my mother had me when she was 46 years old, and she was in menopause phase, and I didn't have oxygen, I ended up having issues with my brain development. So I have what is called expressive learning disorder, with a slight form of dyslexia. Can you hear it? Can you see it?
No.
Because it's invisible. And all of my years of growing up, I had a problem with the English language. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay. So I had a problem with the English language. I had a problem with the fact that I couldn't comprehend as well as other people, as fast as all of my other classmates. But I was able to mainstream, right? So when able to mainstream, I still had on the side a what? A mentor, a what? A coach. So I knew about coaching and mentoring before any of us in this room even really realized how powerful to have a coach or a mentor. I had one because I didn't want to feel separated, but at the same time, I knew I had some issues and some challenges I need to get through. So I got through school, and I got to my high school, and I had a very beautiful, dark skin with an Afro, curvaceous black woman who's a social worker, said to me, Wendy, I am proud of you, and I'm glad that you were able to complete high school. But baby girl, you're not that smart. You're beautiful, got a nice shape, right? but you're not that smart. You're not going to make it through college, so do not fill out the applications. I don't want you to embarrass yourself. I was afraid to believe her, and I was afraid not to believe her. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I went ahead and I tried anyway. So on my campus was San Diego State, it was Long Beach State, USC, UCLA, and Spelman. Why not? They're going to tell me no anyway, right? Why don't I try? Well, I can say this now because what I'm about to tell you. But with an SAT score of only 600, I got into Spelman. I got into San Diego State. I got into Long Beach State. And I got into San Diego State. And I still showed her the acceptance letter. She said, don't go. You will embarrass yourself. Okay. I was afraid to believe her. I was afraid not to believe her. And so with that being said, I decided to stay closer to home because I am also the baby of 11 children. And my mother couldn't see her little girl, her little fragile little girl, go too far. So I'm still kind of salty. Didn't go to Spelman. But that's okay. But I ended up going to San Diego State. And I ended up getting through most of my freshman and sophomore year with a 2.1 GPA. Pledged a sorority, the whole bit. Right? I said, okay, well, I'm getting by. I'm here. But, see, that social worker in the background was telling me, Wendy, you're still not that smart. You need to quit now before someone finds out about you. So I kept going. And in my junior year, I turned my 2.1 GPA to a 3.0. Only for the junior year. Don't get excited for that. And so I ended up graduating, and my mother came all excited, whatever, the second person in my whole family of 11 children to graduate from college. Not the only successful, but just the second to graduate from a college. So I said, I'm done, I'm good, I proved Miss Brown wrong, I'm good. My girlfriend comes up to me 2 weeks after we graduated, 2 weeks after we got back from partying, don't remember it, don't ask me, it's all the blurs back then in the 90s. And she said to me, girl, let's go to USC. I'm like, US who? USC? She said, yeah, go with me. I said, you come on. You got 5.0 GPAs. You got all kind of tassels on you. What's going on? I'm just glad I made it through. Because, you know, they don't show degrees. They don't show grades on your degrees. Just let you know that.
That's right.
They don't show the timeline of how long it took you. So just please remember that. She said, don't worry, I got you. So she talked to the assistant dean of USC School of Social Work, and she told her about my story. And she said, well, I want to meet this young woman. And I said, okay, I'll go, but what did Ms. Brown say? You're not that smart. Don't go. They will find you out. So I said, okay, I went, I told her my story. She said, I'm going to go ahead and let you into USC on academic probation. She said, you still have to do the essay. You still have to do the interview. She said, I know the essay may not be what you want, but I don't want anyone to help you on it. I need to see you at your raw, rare form. I said, okay. I did it, I got in. My first semester, I ended with a 3.6 GPA. It was the first time ever in my life on a consistent basis I actually saw an A. I've never seen one before. Didn't know what it looked like, other than it was on my alphabet when I was in elementary school. Okay? So I said, great. And then somehow I got a letter in the mail stating that we have nominated you to be the graduation chair speaking for the 20,000 people at USC for the graduation. Who, me? The girl with the learning disability. The young lady that was told that I could not do it. So, of course, I'm going to accept, but again, she's back here. Yeah. See, those negative thoughts in the back of your mind will continue to keep you down. Yeah. But if you press and you push forward and you pray and you praise, okay, Ross was saying that earlier today, you can get through. So I spoke in front of 20,000 people for the first time and never spoke in front of anyone in my entire life. Not a dry eye was in the room. Even my mother, she was running, okay, running of the excitement. She was running around. She couldn't contain herself. Because her daughter now, being the first one ever in an entire family to have a master's degree from a prestigious university. You can clap on that one. And then 4 years later, the University of Southern California hired me to be a professor. So the opinions of other people about your life You can't take that to the bank. You can't believe them. That's not your story. See, right now, you are actually a part of only chapter 3 of a 10-chapter book of my story. Okay? And so, she was part of my chapter 1, but you guys are my chapter 3, and I can't wait to get to 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. I can't wait for you all to see that. Because when I graduate, because I had to go back, I said, I don't know if I can do this, but I want to get my doctorate in social work. And I didn't know if the same school that actually pays me to teach is going to actually bring me back. So I'm now in the doctoral program at USC, getting my doctorate in social work. So when you have someone that has a disability, that doesn't mean it's going to stop them. Some of you don't have anything. Y'all just probably got issues in your life and y'all just dealing with hard stuff. You guys are doing fine. It's not that hard. I have broken every excuse you've ever had in this entire room. No one can ever come to my table. No one ever can call me on the phone and say, Wendy, I can't do something. I will look at you and say, when you're done crying, then give me a call. Because I've broken every single line. And so what I'm going to be talking about really quickly is about SMART goals. It's about being smart. I was smart enough to not believe her. That's right. Okay? And so, through this, we're going to be learning about SMART goals. We're going to be learning ways to implement SMART goals, identify those areas of improvement. And so really quickly, what does SMART mean? Has anyone raised your hand and ever heard SMART? Because this is not my concept, but we borrow this concept in mental health, right? So this concept was first introduced in the Business Journal, and then in my field of mental health, we took this forward. So SMART is, breaking it down as an acronym, means specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based, okay? I am non-negotiable about being smart. Non-negotiable. So you have to be non-negotiable with yourself. Raise your hand if anyone in here got tired of you looking at you, telling you what you could not do, and you finally had some choice words with yourself in the mirror. Who else does that other than me? If you have not raised your hand, it's about time you've had a hard conversation with yourself. Don't let somebody else have that conversation with you. You need to have that conversation with yourself. You have to be specific about your goals. You have to have them measurable. For those of us that are research-based, those of us that are very analytical, you know that in order to be able to look at success and be successful, you have to have steps that you've completed, correct? If you don't have measurable indicators, you wouldn't know what was going on, okay? It's got to be achievable. Just because you don't have it doesn't mean you can't go back and get the training. Some people will go to school and get training. Some people will get a coach. Some people are avid readers and all that. Whatever it is you need to do, if you don't have the skill already, go out and get it. It's got to be relevant. It's got to be about your why. My why is my husband and my son. Those are my two whys. Every time I leave out the house, if I don't make money, I don't eat. I'm self-employed. There is no PTO. There's no sick days. Okay? People are like, oh, you're going to town, you're on vacation. No. I'm working from the time I walk into the airport to the time I come here and all the way back to the airport. I even sold a book in the airport when I was boarding. How did you know I wrote a book? Well, I saw you on Facebook. It's how you market, how you brand yourself. If you don't have people constantly watching you and talking about you, how are you going to know? Who knows Coca-Cola? Raise your hand. Who knows Nike? How do you know them? It's their marketing, okay? So it's about those measurable indicators, about being achievable, and it's about being relevant and time-based. Who's heard of soft dates and hard dates? Okay, for our business people. So if those of you don't know what those things are, your soft dates are your dates that you are assuming that you're going to meet that goal. That's your first date, okay? And your hard date is your non-negotiable no matter what. If you got to stay up for the next 4 days like I did on the week of my finals, I stayed at USC's library for 4 days, did not comb my hair, did not bathe, barely ate, to make sure on Monday I was in the library, by Friday I had my hair done, my shoes, my bundles was in my hair, and I was walking across the stage. You have to be non-negotiable, okay? So in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Who enjoys failing other than me? Okay, let me tell you why you need to enjoy it. How would you know what to do if you don't fail? I didn't say fail backwards. backwards. I say fell forward. You need to fall forward. You need to fail forward. If you do everything perfectly, you will never learn. If you got up and walked today, I guarantee you there were many times when you were a baby that you fell. Okay? But you got to be able to fall forward. Okay? So there are some interruptions. There are some barriers when you are, looking at your SMART goals and you're starting your own business. I'm not going to read everything, but you can pretty much see here that many of you can relate to distractions, right? How do we deal with distractions? First, we got to be able to identify them. And then, who in here has a 9 to 5 and a business? Okay, great. So in that 9 to 5, every single morning, if you're trying to grow your business, if you're trying to scale your business, you got to be looking at your calendar. You got to look at where you have 30, 45 minutes. You got to look for holes. You got to make sure that everything that you have in place while at your job, you're sneaking in those times. I did it too. I opened up my therapy private practice in 30 days while I was working a 9 to 5. Okay? But if you're not out there opening up and sharing your dreams so that other people can know what you're doing, you're not going to be known. And so also too, in order for you to do, how we talk about relational currency, after work, what are you doing? I know I want to go home. But sometimes you got to go to parties, free workshops, pay for conferences, network. Yes. Network in here, okay? I probably will never give any one of you my business card. But I want to put me in your phone. Why? Because you'll sleep with me every single night, because we keep our phones closer to ourselves than we do our own spouse and our kids. Okay? So the pros and cons of having a 9 to 5 and working your own business is that you have all these great resources from your job. But the cons is that unfortunately your work performance at your job will go down. Why? Because you're seeing your vision right in front of you, and you're going to want to not do that job. You're going to want to do it for someone, you do it for yourself. Okay? So you got to make sure you have some things in place, okay, before you leave that job.
That's right.
So that when it's time for you to fire your boss, I fired my boss, and she was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I want to start my own agency." You can't be the only executive chief in this world.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So there's priority and there's time management when you're using SMART, okay? So when I wrote this book, when I wrote SMART, it took me 2 years, 2 whole years. But I finally became an author in April for the first time. A woman with a disability became an author. Okay? And so I started out with a calendar like this. Everybody said, who always tell people I'm busy? But I want you to go check that phone calendar. Go check that work calendar. It looks just like this. Come on now. But if you're not managing your priorities, if you don't create, you got to be able to look at impossibilities that you can create. You got to define your priority list. Manage your day. Create a to-do list. And you got to decide. Who's made a decision today to run and live your destiny on purpose? There's only 2 people in the room. Who's made it their decision to run and live your destiny on purpose? Who wants to be on this stage next year? Okay? You have to decide. Thank you. You have to make a decision, and every single day, every single second must count. You may think that you have no control, but the truth is you do have control over how you think. And this is where it's mental health. We got to be conscious of the things that we say in our own mind. We got to be conscious of the words that we say. Is it hard to be positive? Yes. Is it easy to be negative? Yes. Because being negative takes no effort. You don't have to fight with anyone, because there's a lot of people down here with you enjoying the negative time that y'all having with one another. But there are a few people that are on the top. There are a few people that are on the top that are living positive. I'm not saying to eliminate all negative thoughts, because at every level there's a new, what? Devil, right? And those are your thinking. But there are just 3 keys that you are going to find on your computer. Y'all see this? Y'all know this. Control yourself. Look for alternative solutions. And do what? Delete situations that give you tension and negativity. Delete people. Get comfortable with the word no. No is a complete sentence when you put a period on it. Okay? You will not get any grammar errors from that one. Okay? Other people's jobs and their dreams, okay, cannot be your priority. You will stay broke.
Yep.
Black women, if you stop doing stuff for free, you can finally have money in the bank account.
Yes.
You don't have to nurture those kind of relationships. If you can go in and save all your money for Black Friday and then you kill somebody for a computer or Louis Vuitton, then you know what? You can pay for coaching. There, Black Wall Street, it was real. And we can bring that back. Stop nickel and diming Black businesses to give you a holy hookup, but then you're okay with paying Kate Spade and Steve Jobs and Verizon $400-500 and miss your rent check, okay? But then if you got another Black woman or a Black man doing some amazing things, you want to give them a discount. Not everybody go to a club or have a guest list, okay? So we got to be able to do that and support one another. So if you're smart about your goals, if you are smart about what it is that you want to do, if you are living your destiny on purpose, then do it. You got up this morning. It wasn't hard for you to take a shower, for those of you that did. Okay. It wasn't hard for you to comb your hair. It wasn't hard for you to breathe. See, when you don't try to do any of those things, right? But when you tell somebody you're going to try to do something, you're doing what? You're lying to them. When you say the word try, it's a premeditated lie. Because you've already told them you have no effort or desire to do whatever it is that you're telling them that you're going to do. It's about keeping your word. Delete the word try. It's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. I didn't try to go to college. I went. I didn't try to pass that exam. I passed it. I didn't try to graduate from USC. I graduated. I didn't try to apply to the doctoral program. I did. If you are not about trying, you need to have a conversation with me. But if you keep saying try, call me next year. With that being said, thank you so much, Dr. Cassandra. Thank you so much, and I truly appreciate it. You can catch me on social media. Thank you.
All right. That's how we rolling here at the Burn Conference. That's how we rolling. All right. Let me see what's happening next. All right. This is about
She
making
said
connections.
try is a premeditated lie. Who finna? Same thing, premeditated. Was that good? Oh my God. What she say? Feel. I heard the same thing. That girl be setting them goals. She had that "we gonna get it done" thing on Facebook, and I was like, is she talking to me? And then she called me out. I said, oh, she know I wouldn't finish. I don't mess with Wendy. She came all the way from LA to tell us some stuff. I'm Johnny. I am magnificent.
We got a lot
Dr.
of
Howard.
stuff going on. All right.
You can preach that. She'll let you have it on you. A try is a premeditated lie. I think I'm going to hear it on Sunday.
I got slides.
He's the only pastor I know got a church in the mall. If we lived in Tulsa, we have something to wear when we go to church. Then we got an excuse. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that good? Oh my God. So listen, Johnny, it ain't your turn to speak yet. I don't know why I asked you to come up here. But listen, because our next speaker is from BMO. She's from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
And when I met Dr. Natalie Forrest,
Heavy on the doctor.
heavy on the doctor, she started educating me. I said, man, we were like, she ain't playing. And so we sat there with a pen and a piece of paper, took notes,
Right out.
and got beat up at the same time. Because we was trying to do some stuff which we found out was nothing but a
Premeditated lie.
I don't know if we're going to charge you. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, well, I don't know about the second. We're going to have to put a low jack on your ankle. So listen, Wendy got some Get Smart Goals books and stuff. I got mine. I tried to do mine on the plane and realized that I'm short of my goals. So listen, we are about to bring Dr. Natalie Forrest up from Baltimore, Maryland. She just got in. Just got in from Venezuela. Spain. Well, you were saying as a country, you know, you didn't invite me to. You told me I had to lose weight to get in the suitcase. And so, I can't lose weight like that. And so, look, I'm 54. This is what 54 gonna look like on me. So there it is. So, you 63, John? I didn't know you was that old. I mean, I didn't know you was 63. Sweet 16 and never been kissed. I can't take it. So, Dr. Natalie Forrest. She's with the Women of Global Change. She is my sister from another mister. Dr. Natalie Forrest.
Are you ready for a revolution? I know this is not a black song. But trust me, I'm inside out Oreo. That is the song that my daughter loves, that I love, and when she walks into school, when I drive her to school, we listen to it in the car. And then she tries to tell her teachers what to do. I'm a teacher by heart. I was born a teacher, I was raised a teacher, I was teaching history. So today is a historical day. Yesterday was a historical day. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. Yesterday was July 20th. Anybody know what happened in 1969? It's like something up there. We went to the moon. Yes. That was in 1969. So, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. That's really important. And I don't want to talk a lot about myself. I never do because I think it's really boring because I'm here because I'm here. I'm supposed to be here, period. But I always take notes when I hear my fellow speakers because I always get inspired. So I want to take up a few things that I heard. And I always have to start with Wendy because in Los Angeles, she was also in front of me. So she said failure. And one of the things I want to point out is that in my vocabulary, failure does not exist. There's no such thing as failure because if you do something, you learn from it. Mm-hmm. Are you ready to learn? All right, good. So I am obviously a teacher, as I mentioned, and we are all women running. We have some men running. We can actually run together because together we can achieve a whole lot more than alone. Whether you're white, black, yellow, purple, female, male, in between, it doesn't matter as long as we do it together and as long as we do it for a good purpose. Because if you don't know, we all have a purpose, and the purpose that we've been given has been given by a higher power. Therefore, guess what? We're all perfect. There are no mistakes. There are no failures. There don't exist. You may not be where you think you should be. You may not be where somebody else tells you you need to be. But guess what? Whose life are you living? So one of the things we need to do when we talk about revolution, when we're talking about why are we here, I'm going to try and break it down because I talk to individuals, I talk to business owners, I talk to authors. It's all about starting from scratch. So those of you who have something to write, and I know all of you do, I started this just a couple of months ago when I was working with the Transformation TV team on a movie. And I started shifting. So write down the word shift, and please, see, this is the thing, you always need to listen to instructions before you do it. Yeah. Shift from top to bottom, 1 letter per line, please. 1 letter per line. You don't have to run while doing it, but we're going to look a little bit into your purpose. You're going to look a little bit into your potential, and no, I cannot sit still. When I was teaching, my students were driving themselves crazy because they were trying to catch up with me, okay? So one of the things that has been mentioned, and I know Dr. Katz will talk about that later on too, is you need to have a system. Wendy was talking about SMART goals. In education, we use them all the time as well. But it's a life skill, it's a life tool. You need to have a system. I met a wonderful gentleman yesterday who's designing an assessment tool. It's a system. You need to know where you are in order to know where you're going. Now, the problem or the challenge is that most of us don't know who we are. We know who the world tells us who we are. We know that we're a mom. We know that we're a daughter. We know that we're a sister. We know that we are a teacher, a student. What the? That is not who you are. So earlier today, somebody was talking, the wonderful Roz was saying, ears open, mouth closed, and guess what? All that is true. There's one piece missing. Heart. And of course, she talked from the heart. You have to have an open heart. If you don't have an open heart, you will not know who you are. So forget about what everybody tells you and start listening. Start listening to yourself. And if you are a little bit afraid of it, then maybe, and this is not working, that's great. That was supposed to be a song. But anyhow, be brave. I don't know if you know that song by Sarah. Be brave. Okay, it's one of the workshops that I do give. It takes courage to wipe the slate clean. Awareness is not a giver of solace. It is just the opposite. And it is like Plato once said, when you have seen, you can never go back to the shadow. Never go back. So once you have seen, sorry ladies and gentlemen, you're in it. Now the only way is forward. Maybe a little detours, because life happens, but in general, it doesn't matter any which way, because you are going to go where you need to be when you need to be there. Not by your own timing, not by somebody else's timing, but by God's timing. Thank you. Yes. So what is your purpose? It's your heart. It's your heart. People will tell you when you grow up, you need to be A, B, C, D. You need to make a living. Then, when you get a little older and you see too much bad TV, too much bad press, you're supposed to be on TV. You're supposed to have a billboard with your name. No. I mean, I never wanted to be in front of the room. I was a teacher. I was quite happy to teach in history, African American, Native American, U.S., Western Civ, you name it. Because history is about people. This is why I'm good at what I do. I have insight. I know people. And our purpose is no mystery. People like to give you, 6 months worth of a workshop to find out your purpose. Don't waste your money. Talk to me in 10 minutes to get your purpose done. Because all you have to do is you have to look at the patterns of your life. And you have to listen to your heart. It's that simple. But it sounds so big. What's your purpose? I don't know. Just go day by day. Now, when it comes to purpose, when it comes to figuring out who you are, when it comes to being a little bit revolutionary, the word shift, the very first letter in that is an S. It stands for two things. Self-confidence. Write that down. Self-confidence. S. If you don't have that, you can't be brave. It also stands for another S, which is the support system. We'll talk maybe later about that. But when we do assessments in coaching, most coaches use this wheel of life. It's great because people like to have an assessment, okay? Just check it out at some point. Where are you? What do you want to do? Where are you happy? Where are you not? And you might have to add to the wheel a little bit. That's okay. But whenever there's something in disalignment, there's a dis-ease. When something is too hard, there's a dis-ease. That means you need to get rid of it. Okay? Then the big question is why? Why is this your purpose? Why are you here? What are you going to do with all of that stuff? Anybody know why they're here?
Yeah, got purpose.
Yeah, what? Okay. Transition, change. Cool. But that's not a SMART goal.
Make a difference.
It's I'm here because. That's called one of the most effective tools you can ever use in life. I'm a historian by trade. I know how to use analysis, data, research. I do it all. What does a good decision come down to?
Choice.
Heart.
The heart or the gut. Okay? So if you're here and you're not sure why you're here, as long as your heart is open, your ears are open, and in some instances your mouth also has to be open because you have to ask people for what you want, you're in the right place. That's your why. Now, there are patterns in your life. Some of you are here that haven't talked to anybody. Why? We don't bite. I might have a cold and I might sound really funny today, but I'm here. Okay? We all have patterns. And Albert Einstein already said, if you try changing something but you keep doing the same thing, it ain't gonna work. And that was paraphrased. Okay? What do you expect? So in my book, I tell a story about somebody calling me all the time. Same date, same time. How many of you have like an aunt or something like that, and she calls every Wednesday at 10 a.m.? And every Wednesday at 10 a.m. you answer the phone. And half the time you're like, and you're like, okay. And while she's talking, what are you doing?
Something else.
Everything but listening. Everything but feeling. How does she take it?
Usually they don't care.
She keeps calling you next Wednesday again, telling you the same story again. But she also feels that you're not present. So one of the biggest things when we're talking about our patterns is the fact that we need to be responsible. Nobody but us controls what we do. But we're on autopilot. Phone rings, we pick up. Phone rings, we pick up. Phone rings, we pick up. Well, how about we hit the brakes? Thank you. My car doesn't make that sound. And we don't pick up the phone. Are you brave enough to do that? Are you brave enough to tell that person that you love them from the bottom of your heart? But right now you need time for you. And when you're ready, you will answer that phone. And when you're ready and you answer that phone, you will be 200% present. And what will that person do?
Feel you.
Call you Wednesday at 10 a.m. Because you've trained them that you pick up the phone. Now, if they call you at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, what are you going to do? Are you sure? Thank you for your honesty. Thanks for playing. So, you see, we train ourselves. And it's hard. Because the training that we have is all based on the training that society has given us. Society tells us what to do, where to do it, when to do it. And I'm going to take a little break here because it's all about passion and the heart. Okay? I'm going to do a something that I normally don't do. We all have the greatest potential in us. Once we start going to kindergarten or pre-K, that individuality is slowly but surely being stopped. So that when you're 7 years old, psychologists will tell you, you're pretty much who you are. But most kids in the United States start going to K prep or something like that at the age of 3 or 4. So how much time have they lived before somebody told them what they could and couldn't do?
Wow.
This is my daughter, not that one in the picture. This is my daughter. She just turned 7, and she just published her first book. And that is because of people like the people in this room. Because we're willing to listen to others. And we need to listen to the kids. I know Dr. Cass said next year they're going to be kids. We need to listen to the kids. They know a whole lot more than we do, and they have that passion. Now, you may not have that passion every morning when you wake up. I don't. This morning I didn't want to get up. I have a cold. But we can get there because the passion, the vision, the inspiration that is God-given, higher given, will always carry us through. And if we don't want to get up, somebody else will call us or knock on the door. I was so afraid that Ross would call me and say, I'm early, can I get in your room? I was like, Lord, please. The kids next door didn't go to bed until 2. Can I please get some sleep? So we need to shift. H. Honesty. You need to be honest with yourself. I don't care about anybody else in your life. You need to be honest with yourself. And so when Wendy says, don't try. I went to, in my previous relationship, I went to counseling 2 or 3 times. And it was marriage counseling, and my then husband selected his pastor for us to go to. Because he thought the pastor would be on his side or something like that, I don't know. Well, it was misguided. So the pastor did something that I shared with Wendy in LA as well. He said, okay, do something for me. Because my ex-husband used to say, well, I'm trying, I'm really trying. My husband now says he ain't even trying, so we're good. He said, go over and try to lift the bottle. Can you all do that? Try to lift something on your tables. Stop! You're already lifting it. I said, try lifting it. Because all you're doing is you're trying. Now you're lifting it. That's exactly what Wendy said, right? It's that simple. So you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to forget about others. Don't try, just be. And it takes a lot of courage to do so. But if you want to live your potential, you have to get out of autopilot. Put little sticky notes up. Ask somebody to support you. Most likely not your family. I love my family dearly, but not my family. So, who else do you have? Maybe a friend. And sometimes, yes, it is our family. Don't get me wrong. My husband now, absolutely. My daughter, absolutely. But sometimes you may need a coach. Sometimes you may need a counselor. Sometimes you need whatever. Find somebody who will remind you. That means you have to be vulnerable. That means you have to be brave. That means you have to revolutionize everything that you have known. But if you want to be you, the God-given you, the reason why you're here, and there is no mystery why you're here. Everybody in this room is needed. Everybody you know that is needed. We all have a reason for being here. Whether you're a carpenter, whether you're a TV anchor, whether you're an amazing singer, whether you're a mom, you don't have to do anything other than what is here. A former client of mine kept talking to me. She said, well, I really want to do this. but my son needs me, and so I feel really bad. I said, why do you feel bad? You're a great mom. What is more important than being a parent? We're raising the next generation. There are times when I have no time because I have to be with my daughter. So if you want to be you fully and entirely, you need to shift.
Yes.
Self-confidence, support system. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to do that in integrity. You don't need social media, so the I stands for integrity. You don't need social media. Don't tell 200,000 people what you are going to try and do, or that you are going to lose 10 pounds. I don't care. Because you ain't going to do it the minute you put it out there. But everybody's going to call you on it. And then what are you in? You're in that vicious cycle that we create because of the patterns in life where everybody then can tell us, yeah, but you said, but you said, but you said. And you know what, that's great? It's great because it helps you feel bad about yourself and hate yourself and despise yourself. That's not why God created us. I'm sorry. God is love. So listen with your heart, not with the ears that have been trained by society. If you want to be fear-free, completely free, all it takes is one step, is what I would say. One step to freedom. If you want to have less anger, less stress, it's simple. Be you. Put that mask off. My daughter learned at the last Women of Global Change Summit that we just came back from. One of the things that she put in her presentation was something that we brought up as an example. We had a glass of Sprite, and then the teacher, Cheyenne, amazing lady, she put some oil on top of it, and then put some other stuff on top and said, the Sprite is you. Oil is the mask, and everything else you put on. So one of the things my daughter said she learned was that sometimes we get oil. We need to get rid of that oil because we all have a fiery essence. So get rid of that oil. So get rid of that mask. Wear what you are. Don't wear makeup when you don't feel like it. Wear makeup when you feel like it, but don't do anything in between. That is silly. I sometimes have my best coaching calls in my PJs. But somebody told me I have to get dressed to be an expert. When I do my webinars, I look good from here on up. And then my cat jumps on the table, my daughter tries to run by, and I'm like, shh. It's called life. And there's a profit that we get from it. The most important profit is here. And this is why we're here at the Run Conference. Because it's about relationships, it's about the heart, it's about trusting each other, knowing each other, liking each other. And if I don't like you, I won't work with you. And that's okay too. Because I can connect you to somebody who likes you.
All right.
It's about relationships. Profit is not always money. Not always money. Not always money. There are no overnight successes. There just aren't. The heart is going to lead you, which is why the purpose is so important, why the passion is so important. Too many people go into business with an MLM. They think they need to be on TV. They hate their jobs, whatever it may be. They're miserable and they have a lot of money. Well, how stress-free is that? You have to go by the heart. It may take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Doesn't matter how long. As long as it's you, authentically you. And whether you're in business or not, you have a brand. So I want to break it down real quick in the last few minutes for those of us who are trying to get to the next level. You are your brand. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, at night. Whatever you wear, whatever you do, is you and your brand. Whether you're a mom, you have a brand. When you walk around in sweatpants all day, you have a brand. You don't have to have a business to have a brand, because guess what? Every single person in this life has a life. If you have a life, you have a brand. Now, take that into business. It has to be you. Don't copy somebody else. Don't be somebody else. It will not work. That's why I work on rebranding with people. It doesn't work. So there's you. Life to me is a puzzle. Always a puzzle. One of the puzzle pieces is you. The other one is purpose. The next one is your message. Talk about that in a second. Performance. One of my books is about performance because we misunderstand high-level performance. Okay? We always think that an A is the absolute best. It's not. What matters is that you gave it your best. So today, I know I'm not 100%. I know I'm not. I know I have a cold. I know I feel like I'm going to fall over. And that's okay. Because I'm still giving you my very best, even with the PowerPoint not doing what I wanted to do. But I'm doing it. Because you came here for a reason and I'm here for a reason. And this is me talking to you, trying to help you get to the next level. So, you, your purpose, your performance, your message, marketing, and profit. All of these puzzle pieces, you have to fill in. Nobody can do it for you. This is a weird setup of my PowerPoint. You need a strategy for that. Your strategy is simple. You need to identify and understand your purpose. You need to create your message. Why are you doing what you're doing? What do you want to achieve? There can be 20 other business coaches in the room. I'm not afraid. Dr. Cassandra is not afraid. None of the coaches in this room are afraid because we understand that there is enough. You need to create books, projects, albums, I don't know, cushions, whatever you want to create. That comes from where we just were in Spain and so forth, okay? You need to be comfortable with your brand. If you go up on stage, if you go walk down the road and you are not comfortable, everybody will find out, okay? So, in order to sell all of that, you need to create your message to make your dream happen. Be brave. Shift self-confidence, honesty, integrity, freedom from fear, and trust. And there's a lot more I can say, but I'm out of time. And as long as you shift, as long as you follow up, I'm over there, Dr. Cassandra's over there, Naomi is there, Wendy is there. We're all here to help you. Follow up with one person. We all do 20-minute, 30-minute free consults to help you get started. Do that. Be brave. Believe in yourself. And know that if you put your mind to it, your mind is a flexible thing. So, just be revolutionary and achieve your dreams.
Yes.